The key to being a successful realtor starts with client acquisition. How do you work with more buyers and sellers? If you know anything about me, you know how I feel about video and why it's so important. And today I'm going to discuss the types of videos that you need to be making to address some of the biggest questions home buyers and home sellers have to make sure they become your client and not someone else's. Guys, we've talked about this before many, many times, especially on this podcast. You need to use video strategically to showcase what you do for your clients. Every realtor out there tells people what they do. But if you want to be truly successful, you need to show people what you do. And there's no better way to do that than by using video. One of the questions that we get all the time, do you specialize in my neighborhood? Or have you sold or have you helped people buy the type of property that I'm looking for? So when you get that question, these are the types of videos that you need to be making to address that question. And the nice part about it is once you make these videos, they become evergreen. You can use them over and over and show these clients, hey, it's a great question. Let me show you what I do to make sure this works. So what are the types of videos that you need to do? I think it starts with neighborhood tours, right? Nothing shows that you specialize or that you understand a neighborhood than by touring all the best local hotspots. It creates a situation where people view you as the expert. Market update videos, I think, are like imperative. They're important. I see people posting market updates, but it's like a pie chart or like a graph, and it just reminds me of like 2-column proofs in geometry. And I'm like, no one wants to read this. No one understands it. Stop doing this. Like, well, if you look at the chart here, you see the dots going this way and they were going that way. No one's looking at those charts. All right. So if you want to do a market update, do it in video form. Hey, here I am downtown. Let me tell you what's happening in the market, right? People will listen. It's easier to understand. Nobody wants to read a pie chart. I assure you. Okay. And another thing, highlight the different types of property types that are out there in your neighborhood. Hey, if you're looking to buy a home in, your area, so for me, it's northeastern Pennsylvania. If you're looking to buy a home in northeastern Pennsylvania for under $250,000, let me show you some of the houses that are on the market right at your price point. You become the local expert when you post videos like that. And that way, when you're meeting with clients and they say to you, hey, do you specialize in my neighborhood? Have you sold this type of property before? You can go back and not just tell them, oh yeah, sure I do. You can say, let me show you how well I know the neighborhood. Let me show you a similar situation where I had a property just like this. And when you show them the video, you're going to stand out. Most realtors fear going on video. So the fact that you're doing it will separate you from the countless realtors that are out there, especially the bad ones. Because sometimes they get listings or buyers too. That's another story for another day. The next question that we get a lot, right? Have you helped someone in my situation before? Look, very clear video strategy to explain this for people, all right? It starts with client stories. Hey, let me tell you about Susie. Susie was a first-time home buyer. I met her when she came to rent a property. I ran her credit, found out she had great credit. I said, how come you don't want to buy a house? And Susie said, you need 20% down to buy a home. I assured her that was not true. We talked about the different types of loans that are available with lower down payments. We even talked about buyer's closing cost assists. And in 6 short weeks, she was no longer a renter. She was a first-time home buyer. How's that for an impactful video? How many people out there think that they need 20% down to buy a house? And as a realtor, you know that's not true. That's a great video to make. Case studies, right? So if you're working with investors, I say this all the time. Investor math is like a completely different language, all right? Hey, let me show you this double block that I sold to one of my clients, and this is what their monthly mortgage payment is. This is what they pay for taxes and insurance and sewer bills and so on and so forth. But this is what their 2 renters pay. So their monthly cash flow is X, and they get the tax benefits of depreciation and mortgage interest and all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, not only do they have positive cash flow, but they also have significant tax advantages as well. That video will attract investor clients, I guarantee it. Look, maybe create like a highlight reel for yourself, right? Think about this as like ESPN, right? You don't have time to watch the 3-hour game, but you want to watch the highlights, right? You know, everybody wants to see that. Hey, here's some great first-time home buyer tips. That's a great video. Here's some investor insights that you need to be thinking about if you're a real estate investor. Hey, if you're looking to downsize, here's a simple way to go about that. You make those types of videos, and all of a sudden, you put yourself in a position where, hey, I've worked with this type of client before. I've worked with people just like you in your situation, and here's how I help them. That's a great strategy, and I guarantee you it works, all right? And the third question, or the third thing to think about if you're trying to attract buyers and sellers, do you seem knowledgeable? Do you seem approachable? And are you someone who's easy to work with, right? Because at the end of the day, look, that's what clients want, right? They want to work with someone who knows what they're doing. They want to work with someone who doesn't like talk down to them or make them feel inferior. And are you someone who's easy to work with? Are you a good communicator, right? So what's the video strategy for something like this? Those frequently asked question videos. And we talked about this. You could use these videos for different things. Hey, guess what? You don't need 20% down to buy a house. There's different loans out there. All right. That's a great frequently asked question video. How about behind the scenes type videos? All right. Show how you prepare for a showing. Show reviewing contracts or attending inspections and what you're asking and what you're talking about. Because listen, first-time home buyers, they're going to go to the home inspection, and that's the first home inspection they've ever been at. There's a high likelihood of that. But maybe it's your 100th home inspection that you've been at. What are the questions that you should be asking your home inspector? That's a great way to attract first-time home buyer clients. Personality content, all right? So look, what makes you seem like a normal person? Videos like, hey, here's 3 things as a realtor that I always keep in my car. By the way, try to work with a realtor who has like a somewhat clean car, right? If their car looks like a hoarder, like run, okay? That's just been my experience in the past. Here's the things that I love about my job. Those are great videos that make you seem like you're someone who's fun or kind or enjoyable to be around. Because at the end of the day, never underestimate the power of being liked. It really matters. It really does. And hot take videos, right? Why overpricing your home is the fastest way to lose money. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Tell me more, right? So I think those are great videos to put out there to show that you're knowledgeable, approachable, a normal person, someone who's pretty easy to work with. So how does this strategy make you someone's go-to realtor? Look, you're walking their streets with your neighborhood videos. You're helping people who are just like them. That's the point of your client stories. And you're speaking confidently, but in a friendly manner. That's your frequently asked questions, your behind the scenes type footage, because that makes you seem like you're someone that would be enjoyable to work with for the months and months that it may take for someone to buy or sell a home. Look, video content sets you apart. It really does. So some video is better than no video. But if you put the right type of video content out there, it won't be long until you are one of the top realtors in your area. And if that's your goal, this is how to do it. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychak at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.